Hello everyone. Welcome to our another video in the series on mastering data structures and algorithms. In my previous video, I talked about how to delete an element from an array when the position of the element is given to us. The topic of this video is to how we can delete an element from an array when the value of the element to be deleted is given. So let's begin. This is a brief introduction about myself. I'm Dr. Prashant K. Gupta. This is a link to my website. You can have a look on what all research papers I have published, on what international visits I have been on to, and what all other professional activities I have been involved in by having a look at my website. By passion, I'm a researcher and a teacher. So over here, the topic of this video is how to delete an element from an array according to the value of the element that is given to us, which we call as the key value. So let's begin. So this is the algorithm. We'll see a step by step through this algorithm and how to delete an element based on the key value. The basic terminology that is used in this algorithm involves A is the array that is under processing, N is the number of elements currently stored in the array, and as you know from our previous videos, max is the macro that used to define the maximum number of elements that can be stored in the array, and the value of N is always less than equal to max. Item is a value that we need to delete from the array, and I is some random variable. So let's begin. Let us suppose that at any point of time, we are given the array in which elements are in this order 11, 2, 77, 8, and 9. Therefore, the value of n is 5, and we have assumed max to be 10. Let's say that the item to be deleted is 7. Now, this is different from the previous video. In my previous video, we also deleted element 77. However, we were given the position at which deletion needed to be performed. Over here, we are given the value of the element that needs to be deleted. So let's see. The first step of the algorithm is the value of the counter initially set to 0 to point to the first index over here. Now, since these are our array elements and the index goes from 0 to n minus 1, so the index goes from 0 to 4, where 0 corresponds to first index, 1 corresponds to second index, and so on up till 4. So the first statement causes the value of the counter to be set as 0. Now, coming to the second statement, we are performing two checks over here that while I is less than equal to n minus 1 and a of I is not equal to the item. Now, what is the meaning of these checks over here? This check and this check. So when I is less than equals to n minus 1, the point is that you're starting with the first index and going on iterating through the array till the time we reach the last element. Because two scenarios arise over here. Either we find the element or the element may be absent in the array. In that scenario, the value of I will become greater than the last index value, that is 4, or will become equals to n. In that scenario, the item is not found in the array and the loop exits. And second scenario is either the value of the item is in the array. So for ensuring that either of the two conditions is true, we are performing this check. So the loop will exit either the element is not found and the value of I becomes greater than n minus 1, or the item is found. And since this is a logical AND operator over here, it ensures that both of these conditions must be true simultaneously. If either of the condition becomes false, then the loop exits. So in this statement, first the conditions perform like this over here. The value of I is 0, the first index. The value of I is checked against n minus 1, that is 0, and less than n minus 1, that is 4. And the value at the index 0, A0, that is equals to 11, and definitely is not equal to 77. Since both these conditions are true, therefore the result is the value of I is incremented and the value of I is made as I plus 1, that is 1. So therefore in the next iteration, I will shift from this position to here. Let's see how. Now you can see in the next iteration, the value of I has become 1 and starts pointing to the first index. Now over here, first index over here means the index value 1. Ideally, it is the second value over here because first index is 0. Okay, now the value of I is again checked over here, that is 1, it is again less than n minus 1, that is 4, and a of 1, that is true over here, that is 2 over here, it is not equal to 77. Therefore, this test is again true. The condition is true that a of I is not equal to the item. Since both these conditions are true, therefore the statement inside the while loop are executed and the value of I is incremented and I points to value I plus 1, that is 2. So next iteration, I will come over here. Now you can see I now points to the second index. Now again this check is performed. The value of I is 2, that is less than n minus 1. This condition is true. However, the second condition fails because a of 2 is equals to 77 and a of item not equal to a of I not equal to item. This condition is not true. Therefore, since this is a logical AND operator, if any of the condition is false, therefore the whole of the condition inside the while loop becomes false. So what is the result? This loop exits and the value of I is not incremented in this line. Therefore, the control of the program now comes to line number 3 in the algorithm over here. Now we are performing a check over here. If a of I equals to item. Why we have performed? Because from this loop, it is a possibility that the loop may have exit because of either of the two conditions becoming true. Either the value of I exceeded n minus 1 or a of I became equals to item. That means we have found the item to be deleted. Therefore, we have to perform this check that why the loop was exit. Because in case the value of I exceeded the n minus 1, then the element was not found in the array and the result has to be printed over here. In case we have found the item to be deleted, then we have to delete that item from the array. However, since here the case is the latter, that is a of I equals to the item, therefore this check is true. Now the condition inside the statement inside this statement number 3, the condition number 3 are executed. Therefore, the first statement to execute is you have to repeat while I is less than n minus 1. Now the value of I over here is 2. It is less than n minus 1, that is 4. This is true. Therefore, a of I gets the value from a of I plus 1. Therefore, a2 gets the value of a3, that is 8. Therefore, the value of 8 will be copied into this location. So what is the result of this statement? You can see. Now the value of 8 is copied over here. And next statement to be executed is this. Now the value of I is incremented and points to the third index, index number 3. So now again this check is performed in this statement that value of I equals to 3 and it is less than n minus 1, that is 4. Therefore, a3 is assigned the value of a4, that is 9. So this is how this value is copied from here into this location, and therefore you can see 9 is copied into the last two locations and the value of I will be incremented. Now the next step is, now again in the next iteration the value of I, that is equals to 4, is compared to n minus 1. However, this is equal and the test in this loop was for the less than condition. So this statement is false. The program exits and the value of n is decremented. N becomes n minus 1, that is 4. Why so? Because we have reduced effectively the number of elements by 1. Therefore, the result is this array. This is how we convert from the given algorithm to the C program. This conversion is straightforward. We have a, n, and item. These values are taken over here in the program. We prompt the user to enter the value of the item to be deleted using printf in this scanf statement. Now you can see over here statement number 1, 2, and this incrementation inside the loop are all combined over here. Let's see how. First of all, the value of I is set to 0, that is over here. Now while I is less than equal to n minus 1 and a of I is not equal to item, therefore we perform these checks in this while loop. Till the time these two conditions are true, the value of I is incremented. Now when the loop exits, we have to perform the check if a of I equals to item. If we have found, then while I is less than n minus 1 over here, we have to assign the value of a of I plus 1 to a of I, and I has to be incremented. And when this loop exits, we have to decrement the value of n by 1. In case this is not true, that means we have not found the item inside the array. Then in that scenario, we have to exit the program and print that element is not found. Thank you all for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. More and more good videos will be coming up soon. Thank you.